Hey, sorry this is so late. Again, if you saw my community post last night, I was feeling really weird. I think I was in the early stages of a migraine, and I elected to, when Sacrifice stopped airing, I just decided to go right to bed instead of shooting the review. And in a way, that kind of paid off because I had to push it back to the morning anyway, and then when I tried to shoot this morning, the battery in the camera died, so I had to wait for it to be recharged, and so that's why I'm now recording this in the afternoon. So yeah, sorry, it didn't seem to be working out very well. Yeah, and that's going to result in a lot of these matches seeming kind of condensed. Just, you know, we're not going to get too in-depth in the summaries. I'll try to get it as best as I can here, but like I said, there were some other problems that happened as well. The funny thing is, there were two matches that were changed in the show. One was due to an injury, probably an injury angle because they're trying to further something. We'll get to that. And then another one was visa issues, and that was our first kickoff show match, the Digital Media Championship, Crazy Steve versus Joe Hendry. Originally this was supposed to be the Laredo Kid, but he could, because the show was in Canada, not the United States, there was some travel issues with that, and he couldn't come in there. And this match was really rushed. Hendry came in and hit up a couple of big moves. He went for the standing ovation. As this was happening, AJ Francis, that's the former top dollar of Hit Row in WWE, was at ringside. He was joining the commentary team, but then he distracted Hendry and then shoved him into a ring post and rolled him back in where Crazy Steve hit the jumping DDT for the 3 count and the victory. Yeah, that really got things started off on a weird foot. And then our second kickoff show match was the Rascals versus Speedball Mountain. Again, this time Steve MacLeod informed the Rascals that he wasn't going to be there to help them. He had to focus on his big match. They understood, and early on they they got some offense in. They tried to sneak attack is what happened, and Speedball Mountain threw them both out of the ring. Another point, while the Rascals were going for a move, garbage was being thrown into the ring, and they couldn't. That got interrupted. The Rascals did hit a couple of nice moves. Bailey hit a flipping knee drop onto both of the Rascals, and then the Rascals hit a Doomsday Blockbuster. Eventually, I believe it was Trey Miguel grabbed a can of spray paint, sprayed Mike Bailey once, tried to get him a second time, but then inadvertently got Wentz, and Wentz got hit with a basically spin kick German combo for the 3 count and the victory. Yeah, it was an alright match. Unfortunately, this is where we started having other problems, where the stream was acting weird. It was replaying the last 30 seconds a lot during the end bit, and then as we moved on to the show proper, the picture started to get fuzzy, the feed got cut a bunch of times, and that started to hold things back. And so as we move on to the show proper, we had Nick Nemeth taking on Steve Macklin. Macklin hit a nice back elbow, sending Nemeth out of the ring. Nemeth came back, hit a drop kick and a corner splash. Macklin hit a nice butterfly backbreaker. Macklin hit an Uranagi backbreaker. Nemeth came back in an angle slam, following that up with a neck breaker. Macklin, at one point, Macklin went for his Scud Missile, which is the sort of diving spear into the corner in a Tree of Woe. But Nemeth managed to just roll out of the way, and that sent Macklin flying out of the ring and into the timekeeper area. Macklin did come back, hit the KI and Nemeth, but he rolled out of the ring. Macklin then hit the Danger Zone, that's the new name for the zigzag. Nemeth hit the KIA on Macklin. Eventually, though, Nemeth came back, hit 2 super kicks and a Danger Zone for the 3 count and the victory. This was a really nice match to start things off. Unfortunately, again, done in by issues with the stream that kept happening, where it kept freezing and all sorts of stuff. That carried on to the next match, which was the Tag Team Championship match. Austin Bay Club versus Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers, the System. So Yeah, this one was a little bit hard. I got a little bit of it, like Austin and Bay hit a couple of nice double arm drags. Myers speared Austin on the ring apron while he was doing his kind of handstand into a drop kick maneuver. Like I said, Alicia got in the way to prevent Bay from doing a torpe onto the system. The ABC hit an elevated decapitation elbow drop. Edwards broke up a 1-2 sweep with a blue thunder bomb. As this is happening, Alicia tripped Ace Austin as he was staging his big comeback, allowing Edwards and Myers to hit the the roster cut and the Bosako knee for the 3 count of the victory. Obviously, the Bosako knee is the Boston Knee Party. I was just feeling that cough coming up there. Sorry. Overall, the match was fun. I do think it's finally nice to see someone other than Austin Bay Club holding the tag team championships. Like, I know the Rascals won it at one point, but then Austin Bay Club won it right back. So, again, if you're trying to make the system look like a dominant faction right now, to have them holding more championships is definitely going to help in the long run. Okay, our next match is the no disqualification match between PCO and Khan. Again, the streaming problems continued as Khan grabbed the microphone and made some joke. He attacked the timekeeper, grabbed the microphone, and said that he was the real monster, not PCO. PCO then teleported to the ring and shrugged off a couple trash can attacks. Both men attacked each other with baking sheets, blows to the head. Again, guys, stop with the blows to the head. They fought their way up the ramp. Khan did hit a bunch of back suplexes into the top of the entryway. PCO came back, hit a choke slam off the entrance ramp through a table. They got back in the ring. PCO hit a death drop DDT on a pile of chairs and followed up with PCO assault for the victory. On the bright spot, the streaming issue stopped about halfway through the match, so that finally fixed itself. But, yeah, this, not even by a no disqualification match standards, this was pretty boring. You know, like I said, just, it wasn't anything too spectacular here. It just, yeah, a little too clunky. That leads us into our next match, which is the Knockouts Tag Team Championship match. MK Ultra versus Danny Luna and Jody Threat, who now call themselves Spitfire. Like I said, not really much to say here. MK Ultra jumped the Spitfire on the entry ramp. They grabbed a chain and they choked Jody Threat with it. Danny Luna got involved, hit a crossbody off the ring apron. However, Slamovich caught Danny Luna and hit a snowplow on the outside. From there, Slamovich threw Jody Threat around. Tried a couple of quick maneuvers, couldn't get a pinfall. Killer Kelly asked to be tagged in. They did. They went for their double team finisher. However, at this point, Danny Luna revived just long enough for Jody Threat to get the surprise roll-up on Killer Kelly for the 3 count of the victory. That was it. That was the match, yeah. And it's like, why was it? And here's the thing. This thing ended about 15 minutes before 10 o'clock, so, you know, if you were doing something because you expected the match, another match to go long, it really didn't affect that much at all. So, again, like, you already had a really short match in the kickoff show, and, you know, the PCO Con match was also pretty short. So, I don't know why this match also had to be short, and it just really was anticlimactic. But the only thing of note to say afterwards was a distraught Masha Slamovich basically shoved Killer Kelly and went back up the ramp. So I guess MK Ultra is done, maybe? I'm not entirely sure. And speaking of, well, let's go on to our next match, that is. The next match is Josh Alexander versus Hammerstone, or Alex Hammerstone. I guess they didn't want to have any confusion, so right off the bat, Hammerstone went for a pump kick, but Alexander avoided it. However, Hammerstone came back, hit some clubbing clotheslines in the corner. Hammerstone shrugged off a German suplex, clotheslined Alexander out of the ring. He had an apron power bomb after that. Alexander hit it during one maneuver. I think he was supposed to land clean to the ring, but instead he hit his head off the bottom rope, and it caused a bad ricochet effect where he landed on it afterwards. Alexander did come back. He had a drop kick. He hit some German suplexes. Got an ankle lock put in. Hammerstone fought out of the ankle lock, but then in the process of getting up, crashed into the referee. That enabled him to low blow Alexander and then hit the Nightmare Pendulum for the 3 count and the victory. Sorry, something happened upstairs. Overall, it's not as good as their match was at Hard to Kill, obviously, but a pretty decent match. It does help build Hammerstone up as a top-notch heel. The only problem is with the champion already being a heel, if you want to start pushing Hammerstone that way, obviously someone's going to have to beat Moose for that to happen, but afterwards, Hammerstone claimed Alexander's headgear as a trophy. Definitely made Hammerstone look strong. It wasn't a complete squash, though. And like I said, Alexander did fight back. I wish this match had gone on a little bit longer, though. Again, with how truncated they were making the other matches, to have... Yeah, I was thinking that this match was supposed to be going long, and then it also really didn't. Speaking of tag teams breaking up, we have Time Machine taking on Mustafa Ali and the Grizzled Young Vets in a 6-man tag match. They had an interview segment before where, again, Kushida said, "Look, I know I cost you the championship, but on the previous show, No Surrender, he threw the towel in." And he's telling that to Alex Shelley, and he's like, "Look, I know, I cost you the championship, but understand, I would do it again because your safety is more important to me." And are we good? And Shelley's like, "Yeah, whatever," and he just kind of walks off to the ring. And even early on, like, Shelley was very, unenthusiastically in competing in this match. As Ali was constantly trying to avoid facing Saban as much as he can. Eventually, Kushida got a tag in. He chased Ali around, so they tried to set him up in a face-off with Shaven. Shelley did eventually get involved when he realized his team didn't need him. He got a big hot tag at one point. Tried to catch, I think it was Ali in a German suplex. However, they caught him, and in the process, I think he inadvertently wound up kicking both Saban and Kushida out of the ring, and that enabled the Grizzled Young Vets to come in and come in and land a couple super kicks on Shelley, and Ali hit the 450 for the 3 count and the victory. Again, tag team falling apart. Kind of a rushed finish again. A lot of nothing happening beforehand, unfortunately. Just, again, maybe this was, my own situation in the process of this, but yeah, the show was really fighting me trying to retain interest at this point. After that, we had the triple threat match for the Knockouts Championship, Jordynne Grace versus Tasha Steelz versus Xia Brookside. Once again, Ash by Elegance came down to the ring to witness everything. She and Grace were blowing kisses to each other as the match was starting. Not too much to say in this again. A lot of partnering off, someone getting thrown out of the ring, and some one-on-one fighting. Grace did hit a kind of combination fall-away slam. It was a combination submission hold. Basically a toe hold and I think it was an arm bar. At this point, they kind of fought outside the ring again. Xia Brookside tossed Tasha Steelz into Ash by Elegance, causing water to get spilled all over. Ash by Elegance left at that point, quite irate, blaming Xia Brookside because she realized it was not Tasha Steelz' fault. That kind of caused another big schmoz and confusion, and Grace hit, I believe it was Brookside, with the Juggernaut Driver for the 3 count and the victory. Again, kind of a rushed finish. Like, matches that should have gone on a lot longer didn't. Like, one of these matches was supposed to go on really long, and then for some reason didn't. And I think that just affected the pacing of the whole show because everything just felt wonky here. And that leads us into our main event, the World Championship match, Moose versus Eric Young. Moose went for a spear right away. Young dodged it, slammed Moose's head off the ring apron. Another time he goaded Moose into chopping the ring post, so Moose injured his hand. Moose was targeting Young's injured ribs the whole time. He had as Young bit Moose's finger, Moose came back though and hit an Uranagi. Young came back with a German suplex. He had a Death Valley driver, and they eventually hit an elbow drop. Moose countered another elbow drop attempt with a sky high off the second rope. Young countered a spear into a pile driver, but Moose got a rope break. His feet were up in the ropes when it happened, when the pin happened. The system came down and began distracting Young. The ref kicked them out, however, as that was happening, as he was trying to get the system back up the ramp. Kazarian, who up until that point said he had been in California, he actually tweeted it. I don't know if it's going to be there or not. I'll try to see if I can put this up there for you. But Kazarian came out of the crowd and strangled Young with a cord, enabling Moose to spear Young for the 3 count of the victory. And then the show ended. Again, a rush ending to the show. And that unfortunately sets the... overall, the match was pretty good. Not surprised Moose won. Like I said, I'm trying to think who they're building towards. They obviously need a babyface to beat Moose. But I'm guessing it's probably Nick Nemeth at this point they're trying to build towards. But I can't say for certain. I'm pretty certain it's going to be Nick Nemeth. But I don't know if that's going to necessarily be at Rebellion or if it's going to be at a later show. Still, though, like I said, the show overall, it had its moments. Unfortunately, just maybe my own personal situation is reflecting on it a little bit, but that and the streaming issues and the weird pacing of all the matches and how so many of them just seemed kind of rushed and ill thought out really did sour me on this. No, it's not a terrible show. It did a lot of it did hold my attention for long enough. There were a couple of good matches on here, but yeah, it definitely was not a spectacular show. Maybe they needed another week to prepare things. That's the only thing I can think of. I'm going to have to give Sacrifice 2024 a D. Like I said, it wasn't very good. That's about the best I can really say for that. Okay, so the next video is going to be another kind of wrestling commentary video. It's going to be me talking about the build-up for WrestleMania 40 and how bizarre it's been, and it's not really making me interested in a lot of WrestleMania 40, unfortunately. I'll get more into that video. But yeah, and after that it's going to be the random trade review on the Thor Masterworks Volume 2. And then we're going to get into Echo and the Doctor Who specials. And then probably X-Men 97 after that. See you all next time.
Hey guys, remember you can help me maintain and possibly even expand my professional wrestling coverage by supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/SleepyTime4Camp Productions. Also, remember to like the video, comment, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell.